Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Tiana here, of course. So today's video is going to be a current favorites video. I feel like I have been holding out on all of the products I've been trying. Hopefully today's video will actually make it out there to you all and you can actually see these products, because I have been using these products for months now and I have just been off of my favorites video game. And I know that's like one of my most watched series of videos here on my channel, and they're my favorite videos to film, and I just kind of been slacking. So if you guys want to see the favorites that I have been loving for the past few months, then please keep watching. So the first favorite that I want to mention, and I think it's only right that I mention this, I've been using it religiously. I love this palette. This is the Jackie Aina Anastasia palette. You guys have already seen this palette probably hundreds of times now here on YouTube and Instagram, but this palette just is everything. Is perfect right now for fall. It's just perfect for someone of my skin complexion, darker, lighter. I think it works for everyone. Shadow names are amazing. Price is amazing. I love it. I love this palette. Most Anastasia palettes are pretty good, so you usually can't go wrong. I actually really love the packaging of this palette as well. Like, I've managed to keep it clean. Like, if you guys saw my Modern Renaissance palette or my Soft Glam palette, they are so dirty. So I actually really like the fact that it's a different material and it's not like that suede material, because I feel like that gets dirty really fast. But I love this palette. If you have not got this palette yet, what are you doing? Go try it out, because it is a really good palette. I love it. So my next favorite, and these are not in any order, this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Mini Instant Retouch Powder. And I think I told you guys about this when I first picked it up, that I went with the smaller one just to try it out, because the bigger one was kind of just a little intimidating and I did not want to like it. But of course, it's a Fenty product and Rihanna has not done me wrong yet. I love the foundation, I love the concealer, and now I love the powder. And I lost my Laura Mercier powder. I don't know what happened to it, and I got the medium to deep one, and I know I was kind of on the fence about it. I kind of felt like I liked the translucent color better, but I still wanted to use the medium to deep one, but I lost it in transitioning over cars and I don't know what happened. So this is the shade Nutmeg, and this is probably the shade that I'm going to purchase when I get the bigger size. But so far so good. Like, this has held me up a long time. I don't think I'm gonna purchase the full size probably for another 3 months. I'm just gonna get everything, all my $18 to $20 worth out of this before I purchase the full size, because this is perfect for travel as well. So my next favorite is this powder bronzer by Anastasia. This is in the shade Mahogany, and I believe I tried this out in my Smashbox video. I will have that video up in the cards and link down in the description box below if you have not seen that video yet. But this is the powder bronzer that I have been using lately. And you may be like, that's not really a bronzer. That's more of like a powder for your skin tone. But in person, it's a little darker than it's coming up on camera. But at the same time, it is buildable. So once you build and build and build, I feel like you do get that nice bronze color. And I kind of like this undertone a little bit better than my CoverGirl bronzer. My CoverGirl bronzer is that right shade right off the bat, so you don't need a lot, but it is kind of red. So sometimes when I don't want that red undertone, then this will be perfect, or even my Black Radiance one is perfect if you want like more of a drugstore option. But this is a bronzer. I did get this on sale, so I'm not going to tell you guys to go spend $35 on a bronzer when the CoverGirl option is a lot more affordable and the Black Radiance option is a lot more affordable. And you could probably get drugstore powders just in a darker shade and the right undertone, of course, to bronze and contour with. So it's totally up to you, but I do love this bronzer. I think that once I build it up, it gives me that nice bronzy contour shade that I really like. So again, this is the Anastasia powder bronzer, and it is really nice. I have several concealers and foundations here that I want to tell you guys about, because I have been trying out, as you've seen in the past videos, foundations, concealers, and I just have not done a favorites video. And sometimes I only try like maybe 1 or 2 that month, so it's not really worth trying to do a favorites video on like one product. So I wanted to mention the concealers first. You guys saw me do a comparison video with this and the Fenty concealer. So this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I really like this concealer. Main thing I like about this concealer is the price. This concealer is $6. So I feel like I can use it and not really feel too bad about it. Cause like sometimes when I'm using like my Fenty concealer, I'm like, one, because I don't live near Sephora, and so I don't always want to pay for shipping. So you kind of have to take those things into consideration. So I'm like, okay, I need to use this one a little bit more sparingly than I do my other ones that are drugstore that I can just go to the store and pick up. But this is a really good concealer, and they have it in so many different shades, which is really nice as well. This is the shade Deep Dark 50. And I just like it because it really does remind me a lot of the Fenty concealer. Definitely recommend this one if you're looking for a good drugstore concealer. I have a couple more drugstore concealers that really impressed me over the past few months. This is the CoverGirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. Now for CoverGirl, I have really been giving them a chance. I bought probably about 3 of their foundations and concealers, and I just have not been impressed with their foundations. And I have not tried the new bronzer. I don't know if it's a new formula or not. I saw the shade, and the shade still looks kind of red. It still looks the same, so I'm just still going to use my bronzer until I use up all of it. But they did come out with this concealer, and I tried out the foundation, was not impressed. That went with this concealer, was not impressed at all. But the concealer is really nice, and everything about this concealer really reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape. Like, it lasts a really long time, and I've seen quite a few other people not really do a dedicated video on it, but they're using it in like a makeup tutorial, and they're also raving about this concealer. So I definitely recommend trying this out. I feel like it's a hidden gem. Like, not a lot of people are talking about it, and I don't know, I don't want to be rude, but I don't know if that's because some of the other products aren't that great. So then when you kind of get something in the line that's good, it's like, oh, I'll just mention it in another video with some of the other products that I use. But this is a really good concealer. I really like it. So just to keep mentioning all of my favorite concealers, because believe it or not, I really do rotate these concealers, like, because my ColourPop one is almost empty, so I really try to keep going through them. I've been having really good luck with concealers, so you might be like, she's mentioning all of these concealers, she's no way using all of those, and I really am. So the next one is another drugstore. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, and this has that kind of small applicator. You guys can see that. This is actually really nice. It's actually a very thick, and it is long wearing concealer. I am wearing it today. The only thing I would say about this one is that it is a little light, but I believe they have other shades. So this is 165 Deep Tan. So I think I'm going to keep this one and then get another shade, but I am wearing it today, and you really can't tell. I did have to kind of work it in because I ended up applying a little too much. So this does come off kind of like a lot when you're applying it. So a little of this goes a long way because it is super full coverage. It's really long wearing. It doesn't break up. I haven't had any really real issues with creasing or anything like that. So I definitely recommend this concealer. But if you're my skin tone, you probably want to get something a little bit darker than Deep Tan. Okay, I promise this is the last concealer that I have to mention, but again, it is a really good one. I did a full dedicated video to this concealer. This is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer, and I love this concealer. Again, it's one of those ones that I'm like, I don't want to use it all up. Good drugstore ones that I can lean on, so I try not to use this one as much, but I do really like it. The only thing that I don't like about this concealer is the shade range. So you guys know that I was saying in my review video that there's only 12 shades of this concealer, and I was talking to someone else, and that kind of put them off from getting this because they didn't know if the one shade that's for kind of, you know, the 1 or 2 shades that's for my skin tone and darker would work for someone like their skin tone. So I got the shade 10, and fortunately for me, it works. So I can't speak for everyone's shade, but I do really like this concealer. It's very lightweight, but you can build it up, and it does not get cakey. So I love that about it. Okay, so I have a few foundations that I want to mention. The first one is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. This foundation is bomb. Like, I wore it yesterday and it lasted all day. And I love it. Like it just looks so good on the skin. I love the packaging. Like, oh my gosh, like this is like one of my most bougie looking foundations. Like when I have it stacked up with all of my other foundation bottles, it just stands out because it's just so bougie looking. It looks like a perfume. Like I love it. I love the fact, at first I thought that this foundation was going to be a very lightweight foundation. I did not want that. I don't like light to medium coverage foundations. They don't do anything for me. So once I tried this out though, I was pleasantly surprised at the longevity of it, the coverage of it, like everything. Like I love this foundation. I love the fact that it has so many different shades and undertones. I definitely think I probably could have went some shades up because I ended up going with 80WY because I really just wanted to try it for the video because the other shades were sold out because everyone was getting them. So I definitely think I probably could have went with either 70WY or 71WY, but honestly, since it was summer and now we're kind of getting into fall, it still really works for my skin tone, especially if I pair it with something like the concealer I'm wearing today, which is the Milani concealer. Then everything kind of blends out. It kind of works. Overall, I really like this foundation. Definitely recommend it if you're thinking about getting a new high-end foundation. This is pretty much top of my list right now. This other foundation is my favorite foundation for the cooler seasons, and this has been in my collection for quite some time. I just ended up repurchasing it not too long ago because I didn't have it for a while. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Wear Foundation. I am wearing this foundation today, and like I said, the only time I wear this foundation is when it is lower than 70 degrees outside. I tried to wear this foundation a couple of weeks ago and it was like 80 degrees and I completely played myself because I'm someone who is extremely oily, and if I wear something like this or another luminous foundation, no, it just will not work for me. So this foundation though, from November to April, bomb. Anything after that, I just have to wear a different foundation because it just doesn't really work for me unless I just want that very oily look. Shade that I'm in is 520 Suede W. So I really like this foundation. It's a oldie but a goodie now in my collection, and I will continue to love it in the cooler seasons. 2 drugstore foundations before I'm done. This was in an oldies but goodies tutorial, and I really and truly did not know that this foundation is still so good. This is the Revlon Colorstay 24 Hours Combination Oily Skin Foundation. I am in the shade 410 Cappuccino, and this foundation has been with me since the beginning. This was my very first foundation that I went out and purchased, and I still really love it to this day. Like once I saw that they added a pump, still not enough foundations at the drugstore that have a pump. Like I would love to see a pump on the L'Oreal True Match and the Maybelline foundations. If they put pumps on those Maybelline Fit Me foundations, it would be a good contender for this and for the next foundation that I'm going to mention. But right now, love, love, love this foundation. It's very similar, I feel like, to maybe like the Urban Decay. Like when I don't want to wear the Urban Decay and I want like a drugstore foundation that day, I can reach for this because this is for combination oily skin. So I know that it's going to keep me matte, but not so dry, but still matte enough to last throughout the day. So love this foundation. Love that they added a pump. If you have not tried out this foundation in a while, like I hadn't, definitely try it out. You may really like it. The last foundation that I'm going to mention is the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Now, I started wearing this foundation early summer, and I went through 2 bottles of this already. Love this foundation. When I first started trying this out, I got the concealer, and I thought the concealer was going to be really good as well, but I did not like the concealer. But this, love it. It's not as dewy as the Lancome foundation, but it's not as matte as like the Urban Decay foundation or another mattifying foundation. It's not as matte as those either. So it's kind of in between. The best way to describe this foundation is the Pro Matte Infallible Foundation by L'Oreal and the Pro Glow Infallible Foundation mixed together. And it's like the perfect combination, and it's this. And you get a pump with this. So that is like literally like they mixed those 2 foundations together and got this. And it was like the best idea ever because I was not mixing those foundations. The Pro Matte foundation was too orange and the Pro Glow was kind of orange as well. So I never did mix those foundations, but it seems like that's what they did for this and it's perfect. And they added a pump. I love that they did not do the tube style because I don't think I would have liked it as much. So definitely try this out if you have not yet. And let me know what you think about it because I really, really like this foundation. So my next favorite, I'm just going to mention it real quick, is actually my necklace. So you probably can't see it, but it's this one here and it's my 1991 necklace. I actually got this necklace from Amazon and I've been seeing a lot of people have these necklaces lately and I'm like, okay, but a lot of them were getting theirs off of like Instagram and Etsy and stuff like that, but I ended up seeing this on Amazon. And I was like, I really like this and I'm just going to get it. It had really good reviews. I'll leave it linked down in the description box below if you guys want one. But I just like stacking it up with like other necklaces. These other necklaces are from Forever 21. But this one is my favorite right now. I pretty much have not taken it off. Alright, so my last two favorites are kind of random, but I wanted to mention this perfume. This is the Burberry Weekend perfume, and I got this as a gift from my sister-in-law. And oh my gosh, this perfume smells so good. So if you're watching this video, thank you for getting this perfume for me because it smells so good. It's a very strong floral scent. Like, you know how some other perfumes you're like spraying all day? This, one at the top, one at the bottom. Like, you don't need a whole lot because it is so strong. Like, you're gonna be able to smell it after you leave the room. You're gonna be able to still smell this perfume. So I haven't, as you can see, I've had it now for 4 months, I believe. I think it's been about 3 or 4 months that I've had it, and literally it looks like I haven't even used any of it because once I used it the first time, I sprayed like 3 or 4 sprays and I was like, whoa, that's way too much. So I ended up just using maybe 1 or 2 sprays every time, and I think this is going to last quite some time because it's a really good smelling perfume, but you don't need a lot to smell really good. So love this perfume by Burberry. Okay guys, I promise this is my last favorite that I have to mention. This is the OGX Ultra Moisture Extra Creamy Coconut Miracle Oil body wash. So this is my favorite body wash right now, and it's empty, unfortunately. And the other one that I have is also completely empty. I have been saving the other one for an empties video, and I said, oh, I'm gonna be like, I have a new bottle now. Yeah. So I haven't did that empties video yet, but you will be seeing it again in that video. And this, oh my gosh, I love this body wash. For some reason, I always pass this body wash and I just never tried it. For some reason, I think it's some type of, there's a word for it. I looked it up, but certain body washes make me itch. I started only using the Nivea body wash, which I really love, but it goes really quick because it's so thin. It's like very lightweight, very thin and creamy, and it goes so quick. I would go through those bottles like very quick. So I needed something that was going to be thicker. I didn't have to use a whole lot of it, but it still got me smelling good, got me extra moisturized, and that was this. Like, I was sleep on this for a long time. Like, I kept passing it and I just never wanted to try it out. And now that I have, this is the only thing I use. It smells so good. And the fact that it says it's Ultra Moisture Extra Creamy should tell you something. This is probably the body wash that I'm going to continue to use from now on. And I might mix in the Nivea one here and there, but this is going to be my main thing. Okay guys, so that finally brings this favorites video to a close. I feel like there's not a lot of products sitting in front of me, but it took me a while to talk about them because I really wanted to elaborate. And I feel like because it's not like, oh, I tried it October 15th and now I'm mentioning it on November 3rd. I have a little bit more to say about the products because it's been a few months and I actually know how they work because I've been trying them out for a while. So that's why this video was a little bit longer, but if you made it to the very end, then thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you want to see more of my favorites videos. Also, please subscribe if you're not. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss when I upload my next favorites video or my next video in general. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.